Worried that if they go after Donald Trump for paying off a porn star to influence a presidential election, they might go after other people who paid off a porn star to influence a presidential election?
You take down the symbol, and the people are supposed to melt away. Trump's not going to quit.
He's not going to quit.
No.
But are you worried for the rights of other people that might have paid off porn stars?
Absolutely. So they shot their wad too soon.
What does
By
that
July
expression
4th.
mean?
Huh?
What does that expression mean?
By July 4th?
No, shot their wad too soon. What does that
By
mean?
July 4th, this will be forgotten.
So they should have waited to shoot their wad till later?
August, September.
So if they shot their wad in August or September, do you think that could have potentially hurt Trump? But they splooged too early.
Yeah.
Coming from a galaxy near you, this is Brothers in Booze. And here are your hosts, Greg Washington and Doug Ziegler.
Welcome to Brothers in Booze.
Yeah.
And happy post-indictment day, folks.
This is where we are in this country. I don't know what to say, Doug. I really don't.
How about you tell us what's in your glass, since you already got it poured?
But this,
I know. But go ahead.
I have a fantastic Plum Basil Farmhouse Ale, Doug. You're familiar with this one.
Oh, yes.
From our friends. Liquid
Venture.
Intrusion. No,
Liquid Intrusion. Oh, that's right. I was mixing them up. Because I was thinking of a Venture one that they had with some fruit ale. So, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, a little Liquid Intrusion in your life.
Yep.
Didn't we have this one at Barrel Flow?
No, I did not have that one. I had the Queen and her Seven Seas, and I think they had. Oh, maybe they did have it. Oh, yes, they did. I had that. They did have that there. That's right, they did. Because we were asking, how'd you get the plums like out of season? Like we were asking about that. Yeah.
And it's plummy, but it's not too much. But it has a nice little bite to the end. It's fresh. The basil's there, but dude, loving it, yo.
Yep. So let me grab mine. I have audibling since a little bit change of plans tonight. But
oh yeah, our guests had to cancel late, y'all. So you're stuck with us.
Yeah, they unfortunately had where they had to leave. They were actually on a vacation, and they had to leave early because of flight cancellations and stuff. And ironically, this was the guest we had to reschedule when I had my mishap where we had to leave our vacation early in Maine last year. So I don't know.
Yeah,
what's going on there.
We did this dance with Jeff Bogle too, if you remember.
Yeah, and we'll get Wendi on another time. That's fine.
Right, and Jeff was fantastic once we got him, so it was great.
Yep. All right, so what I grabbed was I think we're all familiar with Even More Jesus, which is a pretty popular Dew Claw beer. This is their regular Jesus, a porter that tastes like a porter. So we
so
always
much there.
Yeah, I just like the idea that it's like, a porter that tastes like a porter. We've been having people like, well, we just sometimes want a beer that tastes like a beer, like when Scott Beeson say that sort of thing on the show not long ago. So I had to grab it. I love Even More Jesus. It's a really great beer. So I have not tried this. Jill did, but yes.
Even More Jesus.
Even More Jesus. So look at that pour. Nice aggressive pour as usual. I'm going to let that settle before I take a sip. But yeah, just to answer your Daniel had asked in the comments about about Wendy's trip, they're okay. It's not something where it just the weather was having some cancellations. They were in Colorado, and unfortunately, the weather made it such that all their flights got canceled for tomorrow. So they had the only flight they could get out was tonight. So they had to fly out tonight. So sucks, but hey, that's life. But we'll have fun anyway.
And flights, that shit's a mess. But yeah, Doug, we're awaiting your.
Oh, that's nice. It's not overly roasty, but it's definitely got the roasty flavor. It's just like I said, it's a porter. It tastes like a porter. No, we did not do any victory shots.
So we'll do it now. Cheers.
Cheers. Fuck you, Trump.
Mm-hmm. Chris, you missed this though.
Oh no.
Presidential election, they might go after other people who paid off a porn star to influence a presidential election?
You take down the symbol, and the people are supposed to melt away. Trump's not going to quit.
He's not going to quit.
No.
But are you worried for the rights of other people that might have paid off porn stars?
Absolutely. So they shot their wad too soon.
What does that expression mean?
Huh?
What does that expression mean?
By July 4th.
No, shot their wad too soon. What does that
By
mean?
July 4th, this will be forgotten.
So they should have waited to shoot their wad till later.
August, September.
So if they shot their wad in August or September, you think that could have potentially hurt Trump? But they splooged too early.
Yeah.
Does he even know what he's? Does he even know what he's saying? That guy. I mean, the good liars know what they're saying. We already know that.
Well, my guess is he was thinking it was a very serious interview and was trying to maintain and just didn't know. But then later it's like, you fucker.
Right.
My guess. But
when he said that they blew their wad early, I knew what he was talking about. He was talking about like, because I've heard this shit. I was so Doug, once the indictment shit came down, I ran into Twitter Spaces, but I didn't run into the ones that the people were celebrating. I ran into the ones where there were GOP tears, man. They were crying, and I was like, I even sent a meme to some of y'all. I don't know who got it, but I was like, there's like this meme of like this lady in a wave. And the wave is just crashing over, and it's just like GOP tears. And it was just, but they're crying. They were talking about shutting down. They're talking about shutting down highways and causing civil unrest. They're talking about taking tractor trailers and making sure they don't get to New York. And Doug, this is another thing. They hate New York, but they love
they do.
New York. No. They love upstate New York. They just hate the city. so we don't have, hey man, the one guy's like, hey, you ever been to Finger Lakes? It's beautiful up there. I can't say anything bad about upstate New York. Well, yeah, the district attorney's office is in Manhattan. And they're like setting it up like it's Gotham or some shit. And in some ways, New York is Gotham. We got it. But like these people are they're still kind of unhinged or unhappy. They're going to vote for Trump no matter what, Doug. Even if he's in jail, they said they're going to. And another thing too, Doug, which is fascinating, and it was a couple of these spaces. The Trumpers don't like Ron DeSantis.
No.
He's way too establishment. He is way too, again, they think he's like a puppet. This primary for the Republicans is just going to be, people are trying to make the Democrat ones it's crazy. It's not. It's Joe and Kamala. That's who's going to be. Move on. Everybody knows it. Stop it. But on the Republican side, Doug, it's already nasty. And these people don't like DeSantis. That's what they don't really see Trump ever going down.
Nope.
So
even though he's lost the popular vote in both elections, but yeah.
Right. But they don't even see him going down with any of like the charges or anything. So they're just like, Ron DeSantis is not an alternative for them. And I find that completely fascinating. They're like, he got run by Mickey. I mean, this guy sucks. And I'm like, am I listening to the Democrats or what am I listening to here? This is just out of control, man.
My in-laws were very proudly voted for Trump both times, and they are both all in on DeSantis.
Okay.
They are both all in on, and my wife was having a conversation with them, and then she started critiquing DeSantis, and they went, "You will not criticize him." Oh, okay. He's beyond reproach. Good to know.
Right. And
Did Zach log on early with a different account? What happened there?
Welcome back, Chris. We haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. But yeah, Doug. So that was going on this week. That's do you have anything else to add on that?
My opinion, which is good for nothing, is that he'll never he might get convicted, and he might get even. My hope is that at least he gets a felony conviction, because then he can't hold a public office. If he never serves time in jail, I don't expect him to ever spend time in a prison cell ever.
Yeah, but
That'll never happen.
they got like 30 charges on this one or something.
Yeah. So as someone who has been in the criminal justice system, unfortunately, in my life, they like to charge you with a lot of things so they can cut things off and make it feel like they're sticking you with good charges.
Right.
So, yeah,
but 30 is a lot, Doug.
that is a lot. That is a fucking lot.
Right. So like
And-
even if they lob off half of them, you still got 15.
Yeah, and he's also still under investigation in Georgia for
Georgia and Casey and Eric Garland
and then there's this RICO case that's involved. Like that's with the documents that he kept.
Yes,
like that RICO shit. That could be the really serious shit where he actually could go to prison.
And we didn't even get to the rape trial.
Yeah, that hasn't even come up yet. And there's another thing about this is I was watching this video where it was Rachel Maddow breaking down all the people in Trump's orbit who have been arrested since he became president, and it is fucking astounding when they. All right, it is astounding how many people in his orbit have been arrested, and some serve prison time. Like it's way more than any other president that's ever been in office, like far beyond anybody else. So,
and these folks are still hoping for Hillary Clinton to be locked up, Obama to be locked up, Biden to be locked up. Of course, Hunter Biden, of course. Oh, and George Soros needs to be locked up too.
Talk about a fucking anti-Semitic dog whistle that was. The Soros guy, that Soros guy didn't contribute any money to that DA getting elected. He didn't contribute to his campaign, but he's their boogeyman. He's their money boogeyman. Meanwhile, there's fucking 50 super rich Republicans who throw millions of dollars at presidential candidates every year, and nobody says shit about them because they're on their side. So,
right. When was the last time you heard the word Koch brothers come out of Fox News? So that's everything you need to know about that. So, good on George Soros if he's funding anti-fascism fucking causes. Good on him. I said it. And find me in the fucking comments, you morons.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Doug. We're gonna go from serious to light like we always do. I have a lot of problems with this graphic. So we're going to take a little time to break this motherfucker down, okay?
And you're springing this on me, so this would be.
I love springing it.
So, Greg, you're hurting my heart.
So soups, I know, like soups are fucking amazing, Doug, and a lot of them are filled with shit that we shouldn't be fucking eating. So I remember those good days where you could just go and get a whole bowl of pho and just sit there and just take it down in one sitting. Nope, not anymore. It is too good separate though. I don't know if you know that, Doug. I mean, one at you know what I mean, like one at lunch one day, one at lunch the other day. But soups, man, why do you have a problem? What's your problem with the graphic?
No, my problem is don't make me choose. I love soup. I love all kinds of fucking soup. Give
me your worst. Give me your worst on here then.
All right, my worst, probably clam chowder.
Doug, clam chowder is. Oh, I love that shit. I love it. I love clam chowder. But it's not my favorite on there.
Okay, what's your worst then?
You know what? First of all, don't kill me, y'all, but I never had matzo soup.
Matzo ball soup's delicious.
Yeah, I never had that shit. So it's gonna be that. Minestrone is kind of meh. It's all right, dog. It's not great. And then tomato sauce is so niche for me. It's like tomato sauce, grilled cheese, you know that bullshit.
Yep, it's a pairing. Yeah.
Right. So, but it's a pairing I can't uncouple the pair. Does that make sense? So, like, that's why it's not versatile for me. It's tomato soup. So I'll have to give it one of my rests. The rest of these are just fucking lentils. Not so much, but I'm down with them, and I've been more down with them since my heart thing, Doug.
Me too, dude. And
What?
it's so good. And the thing is if you can make your own stocks, you can eat soup all the time. The thing is when you get soup in a restaurant or you make it at home with, you can also get the boxes of soup that have no salt added, which are pretty low sodium, so you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
that. And
Mhm.
that way you can eat soup all the time. I make lentil soup. I mean, we make a version of lentil soup probably once a month. It's delicious. It's just lentils just take on whatever flavor you throw at them. So
Chris is getting rid of lentils and tortillas.
okay, well, see the
Right.
problem is the tortilla soup they have there has avocados on it. So
Right. Right. Of course. Tomatoes only there because of grilled cheese. I agree with you, Chris. But I'm not sure what I would put it. I mean, what's that wedding soup? What is that?
Italian wedding soup.
Yes, it's brilliant. That shit is fucking awesome. Wonton soup is. I didn't used to like wonton soup until we found this one Thai place around here,
Mm.
and now it's my favorite. Like, I love wonton soup.
Mm.
Unfortunately, you got to watch the sodium on that motherfucker.
Yeah, anytime you get into unfortunately the different Asian cuisines, like they load stuff with sodium. It's unfortunate for us because that's a hard thing to like. Like if I will have pho, but what I will do is I will eat literally just like oatmeal for breakfast and a salad at lunch and nothing else, and that's going to be my
Right,
entire sodium content for the day. So
right,
it's something
right.
where I like you and
Yeah.
I have talked. It's like you can have it. It's a little bit, or you just budget everything so you can have it later. So
Or you make that dinner portion, even when you do eat it, a lunch portion, and then you have that other portion for lunch the next day, and then it's still not, as much sodium. And then lobster bisque, Doug, I put crab and I also put seafood in there. The whole bisque family. It's just that shit is just so good, man. I love that bisque. Man.
And you can't go wrong. Chicken noodle is just so basic and so perfect. Like it's just so it's especially if you're sick. Matzo ball soup's like that too. Matzo ball soup's great if you're sick, but chicken noodles just man.
Right.
Now I went soup.
No ramen on that list. Can't we just throw ramen in with pho? Or no?
Yeah. Hey, let's throw out what let's agree to throw out what minestrone. We're both not big fans of that. Let's throw that out and put ramen there. How about that?
Oh, okay. Okay. There we go. There we go. The salt will turn you into a jerky. But,
Yeah, hard pass. My heart already tried to do that, and I'm good with that. I don't need to do that again. That sounds amazing. That sounds. Oh,
okay.
all right. When we visit Daniel in New York, you're taking us to that place in Brooklyn. I don't care if it's way out of the way. We need to go there.
Yeah, but yeah, and I don't disagree, but New York is
There's a
not
million
the.
places.
I was gonna say it's not the place to be limited in time if you want to eat there.
No.
Like I can just imagine it being, and then the places that Daniel has that he can get delivered. It's just
Yeah.
We're not even gonna go there.
Well, you didn't.
It's insane. It's fucking insane.
Did you say what your favorite was out of that list? Like your absolute favorite, if you had to pick one.
I can't pick one, man. That was my problem with it. But I mean, can I get top three? Can I give wonton,
top three,
wonton, and the bisque family, and then actually it's gonna be pho, yeah, wonton, pho, and the bisque family, yeah. What do you got?
I'm gonna do pho. My favorite is probably French onion soup. French onion soups.
We didn't even talk about this.
Oh, it's so good. And the thing is, I'm gonna pick a third, probably chicken noodle. Chicken noodle, I guess, because I can make that and eat that anytime. It is like almost like an everyday day one.
Yeah, chicken noodle soup is obviously the one that you want when you're sick. It is.
And like I said, if you've never had matzo ball soup when you're sick is just as good.
Yeah. Okay, Chris.
Yeah. Right. To each their own.
Fair. And that's really fair. And clam chowder is New England, not Manhattan, right? Do we all agree with that?
Yeah. And also there's different versions of New England clam chowder depending on where you are in New England. So
Thank you, Chris.
yeah.
Right. Right.
Chris should only be white, as according to him. So way to go, Chris. Way to bring the racist side out.
So, Doug, I think you wanted to talk about what today is.
Yeah, so today I wanted to discuss. Sorry, my wife just walked by with a trash bag, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Today is National Trans Day of Visibility, so shout out to all our trans friends, and just glad you're with us, and you're valuable. We see you, we love you, and just really thankful you're here. And then Greg went silent.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Let's see here. What's up, Musty? Thank you for joining us. Lobster bisque, wonton, broccoli, cheddar, French, and then the other French onion.
French onion, man.
Broccoli and cheddar is underrated, I think, on this list, but it's just
depends
so
on
simple.
the cheddar.
Yeah, it's got to be. Well, yeah,
got to be good cheddar.
Yeah. See, he knows non-white soups, Doug. So he's not a racist soup. What did you call him?
Way to bring out your racist side. I said.
Wait. Tomatoes and clam chowder. Oh, that's what makes
it. That's the Manhattan style. Yeah, that's where it's like that sort of. Yeah, but it's just soup, man. I could just eat soup all the time. Potatoes. There is not even any like potato soups in there, and that's soupsist. I'm actually going to make a potato stew tomorrow. That is a Puerto Rican potato stew, which I've never made before.
Let's talk about it. What's in it?
It is called pollo guisado. I probably mispronouncing that. It's just potatoes, a lot of veggies, with chicken, and like it's. I saw it, and my one son has a friend his family's Puerto Rican, and he went over there for dinner, and he was just like, "This is the best food I've ever had." Like he was like, "I just can't believe how good that stuff is." Hey, Rod. Right. So here to hold a minute.
Yeah, Rod. I don't know if you saw this. He tweeted it out, and then we were talking about it. One of these threads. Let me pull this up here. I got something that Rod has put on. He talked about last night on his stream, which is I forget what it's called. Rod, what's it called, buddy? Put it in the comments, please. His Thursday stream. He usually goes for like 2-3 hours on it. Has a really good time. Has a whole bunch of guests. But he was talking about this, Doug. Let's put it up here. Rita's.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Did you see this?
I didn't. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, but it's like Rita's Italian Ice.
Yeah, Rita's
Creek.
Yes, and they're doing the first one is a mango. I'm definitely looking for the cherry though. You know what I'm saying? Isn't the cherry? Isn't that the signature Rita's?
I'm pretty well that and like lemon. Lemon's pretty popular too, but
yeah. I'm really. Y'all know Doug and I are sucker for these fad beers, so
yeah, for sure. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Neshaminy Creek is in Northeast Pennsylvania. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, Neshaminy Creek is. I thought that was near Bensalem, where I grew up, which is Bucks County.
Maybe it is.
I thought Neshaminy Creek was Bucks County, but yeah, if any of y'all are lucky enough to find this,
just north of Philly and Croydon.
Yeah,
you're right.
My old stomping ground. I remember that. But Neshaminy Creek was nowhere to be. I mean, there isn't a Neshaminy Creek, but the brewery there's nowhere to be found. Where, yeah. Well, the collab would be cool if Rita didn't sell the fuck out. Okay. Okay. I haven't. I don't know about you, Doug. I don't have a Rita's near me, so I haven't.
There's some in Scranton. There's some in Scranton, which is down about an hour from me. So, it's a sugar mess.
It just went downhill, like everything.
And
But when we were young, man, that was bomb. Don't even
that was like when you couldn't wait for Rita's to open to go get your friggin' Italian
right,
ice.
right. Doug, what do you have queued up? I see
All
something
right, so
down there.
this is what I was talking about with the pollo guisado's chicken stew. So if you look at that, just look how rich that looks.
Where's those olives?
I believe so. So,
Okay. Okay.
although I'm a little disconcerted that that's the guy that made it because I'm not sure he should be the authority on Puerto Rican food, but whatever. So yeah,
Hey man,
yeah,
there's some light skinned Puerto Rican people folks.
that is true.
So.
That is true. We should not prejudge.
right. But you're right though. Like initially, you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
It's like,
So,
all right, well, I'll try it. I've had some where I've tried some recipes because I'm always looking for recipes and trying to make them low sodium style. And I've had some where it's like, oh, that sounds really good. And then I make the recipe and then I'm like, boy, that was kind of bland. Then I look at it's like it's like an ethnic dish made by a white person that like, okay, I probably should have looked at the person who was making.
right. Doug, I'm gonna spring this one on you too. And the reason I say I'm gonna spring this on you because I didn't tell him I was gonna ask him this, y'all. I don't know the answer to this, but you're gonna supply it or not. But our past guest, the wonderful chef from Hawaii.
Yes.
Her name is
Leanne Wong.
Yes. Do you have an update on where she's at as far as the Tournament of Champions goes?
Yes. So she went in to the round 2 of Tournament of Champions. And so she went up against Jet Tila, who is like a professional competition chef, competes all the time. He's on everything all the time. He's a great chef. He's very good. So she went in and competed against him. And unfortunately, she lost. She lost by 3 points, which is not a lot. That was close. But the thing is, she was competing against a guy who does this that's like one of his main ways of living. He has like 8 restaurants, but like he's on TV all the time competing. So yeah, and also Jet Tila, one of his things when he comes on is he holds 5 world records. I don't know what those world records are. It could be how many times you bounce a ping pong on your nose, but like he holds 5 world records.
Would assume they're about food.
I would assume so, but like,
right.
So she went up against a guy that is like he's the number 1 ranked person in that bracket because he's just that good. But hey man, she just brought it and did her best, and she gracious when she lost, and just like Jet's just the best, and like she was very gracious. So yeah.
Speaking of gracious.
Oh no.
That isn't the word I'd use. No.
Cheers, sir.
Up, Casey?
Hey, yo, what's up, guys? How you doing? I'm here in Canada, chilling. I'm sweating like a pig. I just finished all my chores. Kids are in bed. Sarah's out hanging out with her friends. So I'm like, what can I do on a Friday night? I know.
No one is still up there, Chris. Well, thanks, Doug, for this because we had a late cancellation, and I was just gonna ask Casey. I was like, look, we can say hi and bye and get out of there in 10 minutes, Doug. Doug's like, no, what are we talking about? What's up with Casey? So he tagged Casey, and look at that, the magic of all of our pre-production. Casey, what is going on? How are you doing?
You know what? It's funny. Like I'm feel like I'm alive again after 3 months of just working my butt off. We had all this stuff to do at work, but I came into the new year basically laying down the law and pushing back on my team to be like, hey, y'all can do all this. All this is you. And I had to be a little less Mr. Nice Guy, but it means I have more time to finish my book I've been working on for way too long and get back to it's not done yet. Doug, premature content.
You're making progress.
I'm working on it. I am making progress. I actually, it's funny because I wrote it all. I had it at 60,000 words were put together, and then found out from I had one editor, and then she left, and then I got a second editor, and the second editor told me the first one basically gave me bad advice, and I wrote the entire book the wrong way. So I've had to undo it all and put it back together in a way that makes more sense. So that's been fun. And yeah, just lots of writing, trying to just get back to my creativity and my groove. So I'm enjoying that.
Excellent. And it's fun too, Doug, because it's been about a year, Doug, that I made this transition and we've never used it. So we're going to use it tonight. We're going to put Casey on the hot seat. So Casey, we've had a lot of news recently about ex-presidents that we want to throw in jail. So I was just wondering if you had any questions for us Americans.
With all the overwhelming evidence you have against this guy, how did it take so long to indict him of something? Thank you.
Doug, you want to answer that?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm not saying I'm going to be right, but my opinion is they were scared that some fucking wild, violent shit was going to happen if he got arrested. And listen, that shouldn't be the reason you don't arrest somebody if they fucking break the law. So like a bunch of the right wing wing nuts with all the guns. That's the thing, is they're afraid that's going to just go off the rails. Now, here's the thing. They can try to do that. And the problem is they're going against drones and tanks. Like they're not going to get very far. Like I was watching this one video where this guy was talking about, I don't know if you've also seen the revolution stuff that's going on in France, where they're like protesting, like setting shit on fire, and because they're proposing raising the retirement age to 64 from 62, and they are fucking rioting over there.
Well, we can't do that.
Yeah, and the thing is, and this one guy's like, the guy was like, we tried doing that a little bit after George Floyd, and they brought the National Guard in after us. It's a bit different. They don't have like a militarized police over there. So I suspect my guess is that it's because they're afraid of the violence that would ensue. Okay. Greg, what do you think?
I'm going to use an assist from our comment section. He's an American. The rich don't go to jail, and he's rich, old, and he's white. That uses a no go to jail. Correct. I was going to say, Casey, it's as much as people don't scream white privilege, it's white privilege that it takes literally twice as long for white people to be arraigned. And it's just across the board to y'all. This isn't just Donald Trump. This is all white people. Yeah, and I'm talking to you, white person there. Yeah, it's slavery your way.
I'm not disagreeing.
And it's harder for us to get a conviction on y'all than it is to get a conviction on us. And this is not only science, it's facts. Look it up. You don't like it, how about you educate yourself a little bit? Mm-hmm. So, I'm just saying. Because if you don't know that, you don't know that, then you were not educated enough to know it. So
I was actually in America very recently. 2 weeks ago, I was on a trip to Vermont to check out a ski resort with a family. I have never driven so close to the speed limit in my life. Thank you. I'm just saying. As soon as I crossed that Quebecois border, I was like, 2 hands on the wheel. We'll stay at 50. Stay at 50.
Settle down over there.
50 kilometers an hour or 50 miles per hour?
No, I don't want to get 50 miles. I did the conversion in my head. Like there's a little wheel on the inside where it's just kind of like, oh yeah, these are the miles. And I was like, I have to just like look at the little squinty thing where I'm like, okay, yeah, it was a different experience. One thing that I really forgets when I leave the Toronto area is that highways work very differently in most of the US, where it's just like, I'm used to like lots of traffic and there's like rest stops every like 10-15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, we've been driving for like an hour and a half and there's nothing. Just nothing. It's
yeah, be careful on the gas end. That's the big thing. Make sure you have enough control.
Casey, be careful on the sundown towns thing too.
Mm-hmm. You think I was driving at night?
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that.
Yeah. Now, I did this through North Dakota, and I'm not sure if I want to do that again. But I did it, and it was fun. But I remember getting into my hotel one night, and it was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, you need to be at the hotel, motherfucker. Like, and it was just, I was just caught. It wasn't that I was stopping all the time. I just, that's just how the thing took. But when I got to the hotel at that night, I was like, oh, I get the sundown town thing. I get it, y'all. I got it. No more. So Rod, yes, it takes a former president, makes it tougher. There's no question on that. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure if Barack Obama did the same thing, we would have been at the crossroads quicker than with Trump. That's all I'm saying. And again, we will never have the proof of that because Barack Obama's a stand-up citizen who doesn't crime. So we'll never get to that point, or we'll never know. But that's fine. And also, how did Barack Obama get there? By not criming. Because again, if he would have crimed, he would have never got there. But Trump got there from criming.
Not ever.
Somebody got an explanation for me. Casey, do you have an explanation for me? Damn it, I want the Canadians to respond to this. I want y'all to this.
I mean, what haven't we said already? Like, we're just like things kind of work the same up here. It's just that we don't have the same kind of crimes happen when we have people in power, which is kind of like, with Justin Trudeau, as much as he gets celebrated and whatnot, he did brownface multiple times over and he's still prime minister. We're just kind of like, you messed up 20 years ago and we still at it. But it's like, the crimes are more like social crimes for the most part, where it's just kind of like you ran with the wrong crowd and you're going to lose some points, but for the most part, you're good. Like even Hazel McCallion, who was one of the oldest mayors in all of North America, she just passed about a month ago. I think she was like a 101, 103. Like she got up there and she was the mayor of my hometown. And I think the worst she did was like, rear-end someone when she was driving at the age of like 88. So we're just like, Canadian crimes are like, yeah, well, we
right.
It's like we kind of like, we turn up our nose at things where it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have, but nothing's ever too crazy where it's like, maybe we need to like get you out of power immediately.
Right.
We got for Doug Ford.
Right.
Oh yeah, there was Rob Ford and crack. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but
right.
Yeah, but was it like bank fraud, mail fraud, election fraud, and insurrection?
Victimless crimes.
I mean, come on, like we crime at a high level down here, Casey. We're not. Look, if we're gonna crime, we're gonna go all the way. Yeah, we're not just gonna do the little like, respectfully, parking ticket kind of. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're going big down here, man. Mm-hmm. And it again, like Rod said, it worked for this motherfucker. He may be the best grifter ever known.
He's made it to almost 80 without getting arrested.
Right.
While criming his entire life.
And until he literally hits the jail, dog, he didn't hit the jail. So like that'll be true until he hits the jail. And it still might be true for all the shit that this motherfucker's got away with. Man, I don't even know where to start with y'all. But so I'm
gonna ask Casey one thing. Do you have anything to drink? Or even if it's water. Okay.
It is water. I'm like, sadly, my friends, it's just a whole big ass Yeti of water right now.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, all
right.
Eau de Toronto is what we call it here.
Mm-hmm.
So, Doug, what else is going on? I thought you said you had something else to talk about. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, we did very briefly talk about Trans Day of Visibility. That's important.
I got to go get a beer, so I'll leave y'all to y'all.
That's all right. You can do that. We'll allow it this time. So, I mean, the thing is, there's a million things we could talk about, right?
Sure.
So
of course.
Like, it's just, the problem is, like, did you in Canada? So, did you see? Like, I'm sure on social media, you saw all of us posting about the indictment and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like weird seeing like there's the alternate of the glee of him getting indicted, and then there's the people being just absolutely furious that he's been indicted? Like,
I mean,
does that seem weird from your perspective?
That feels like the normal thing. Like when he was in power, it was just like that's how divisive everything was. The fact that like he got elected with like half the country. So it's been like one of these things where just like every time something happens, you're going to see an equal amount of people who are, up in arms about how horrible, like, how dare you, offend Donald J. Trump, and half the people are like, how did it take this long? Like, it's there's never like a gray area. No one has a gray area about Donald Trump.
That's fair. I think also the reason it may have taken so long is because if you think about the idea that no former president has ever been charged with a crime, ever.
Mhm.
And we've had
Mhm.
shitty presidents, but there has been no president more of a criminal than Donald Trump. And that includes Nixon, who should have been arrested, but resigned so he wouldn't get arrested, right? So I think in order to actually charge him, I think it took so long because the people had to make sure that the shit was as iron fucking clad as it could possibly be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to make sure that the chances of it not working are
Right.
next to nil. Like, you can't just be like, because if you charge him and it's just some sort of stupid thing that is easily proven that it's not true, that opens the floodgates for all kinds of shit that would be very bad. And so my thought is like, yeah, this it's pretty obvious that guy's a fucking criminal, but like I think they just wanted to make sure that it was as a slam dunk as they could possibly get. It was my thought.
Ironclad, so that you can't. There's no way to back out of it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna pour a beer out for that one.
Pour a beer out for the madness. Trans Day visibility, though, that's I know I'm going back to something we already talked about, but what I'm finding right now up in my neck of the woods in work is that one of the after effects of everything that happened after George Floyd with the Black Lives Matter movement is that there's just a way more openness to talking about everything, which is actually really good for a lot of marginalized groups. So when we when Trans Day visibility came up, like, we had huge like panel talks with like our executives and people who identify as trans in our workplace and stuff like that. And I think I'm liking where things are going. I think we need to keep pushing, but I'm liking the fact that we're in a 2023 that is more open to at least hearing people's lived experiences than, just kind of like, well, that sounds like a you problem, and I'll be, sympathetic by not getting in the way of it. I'm like, we could do better. So yeah, but sorry, we should go to your beer when I'm done talking. So
no, it's okay. I haven't even tried it yet. I want to also, there's a kerfluffle with the Canadians about a trans person when it came to Hershey bars recently. Did you hear about that?
What?
Hershey released these like bars that were like capital Hershey's, like to promote women.
International Women's Day.
Women. Yeah, I think International Women's Day.
Okay.
And one of them was a trans woman, a Canadian trans woman named Faye Johnson.
Okay. Yep.
And the people in America were boycotting Hershey's. It was like, holy shit! Like,
oh my gosh. I mean, from the corporate side of things, on one hand, it was just kind of like, guys, like, we get it, but how about we just donate towards organizations who know what they're doing? Let's do that.
Well, I don't fault Hershey's for wanting to be inclusive, and just now Hershey's is a corporation.
Yeah.
A lot of that shit will feel performative, but like, I just, what the fuck are these people getting so up at? Like, let people live their lives. They're not harming anybody. They're living their life the way they want to, just like you want to. It's just not the same as you. So I don't know. When I saw it, it's like they're go after the green M&M because it's less sexy. Like, it's just so dumb, dumb shit. Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't been able to internet nearly as much as I have in the past, just because there's been so much going on. But when I do come in internet, I'm just like, I like, let's say I step away for a week or two and I come back and see what's going on. I'm like, ooh, it did not get better.
No, it never does.
It did not improve.
Greg, what did you pour there, sir?
An American wheat with apricot and coconut from Diametric Brewing Company and KC. This is one of those ones that Nigel sent me.
Yeah,
sounds fancy.
Yeah, interesting.
But I like this though. Shows
the
you how
glasses.
serve it. Yeah, and it shows you which glass to serve it in. Please recycle. I like it. And the apricot's coming out big. I don't really taste much of the coconut, but this is a refreshing, nice sweet.
Mine was just this hazelnut stout from Southern Tier. It's hazelnut imperial stout called Hazelnut Delight.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
boozy as that line is, the Blackwater series. So yeah, good. The hazelnut's a little fake tasting for my palate. Yeah,
syrupy.
Yeah,
yeah. It could taste really fake, especially if it's
like banana
abstract.
flavor. Like if you get banana flavor, it's fake. It's clearly fucking.
You can
just not
tell it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Shout out to JG for sending us this.
Wow.
I like how all the fingerprints are very small.
Oh my god.
Because he hasn't been fingerprinted yet, but that spectacle happens. Oh, I retweeted this. That spectacle happens during quote Holy Week this week.
Oh, Ramadan.
So imagine all the memes with Trump being God and all these. We already see them, so we're gonna hear it already. And we've already heard it from his supporters. If you go into those GOP tier rooms, as I call them, Casey, you will hear that Trump is God and he's going to be saved by God. And if everybody prays, we can help Donald Trump.
Oh, I thought this was going to go another way. I thought we were talking about like his reputation is going to die and come back in 3 days. I thought that's what we were saying here, but okay.
Well, 'tis the season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Holy Week, and I was thinking of Ramadan, and then I'm not even thinking about Easter. Jesus.
Yeah. On that note, we're just gonna get out. We're just gonna get out of here. Bye. That would have been a great way just to end it all right there. Like that was
with Doug fucking up royally. Yeah.
No. I was gonna cut it before that.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, the Casey part, Doug. But no, man. It's a fun time to be living here. Oh no.
No.
That sounds very Florida.
Oh no. Yeah. Speaking of cold, Doug, next week is.
Oh, we are going to have Sarah from the Curd Nerd. So we're gonna have a cheesemonger on our show next week. So we're gonna
before that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I want you to say before that though. But go. Hold on. I'm sorry. Stay with the cheese lady, and then go back to what I want you to talk about.
Oh, see,
I want you to talk about both of them.
Oh, that's all right. So the cheesemonger is going to help us do beer and cheese pairings next week. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Jill and I are going to her shop. It's in Syracuse, which is about an hour from us. We're going to go up there Sunday to go get some cheese. And the thing that Greg wanted me to talk about, which I totally missed on.
Right. Colt, not curd.
Yeah,
right.
Sorry.
She got it.
Yeah. So what we're going to have is a cult bar this week. We're going to talk about the cult that occurred at Sarah Lawrence University. There is a documentary on Hulu called Stolen Youth, Inside the Cult at Sarah Lawrence. The premise is Sarah Lawrence is an all-girls school, and this one girl's father moved into her dorm with her and lived there for 10 years and ran a prostitution ring out of it. Yeah. So
wait, what is this again? On what?
It's on Hulu. I'll bring it
Hulu?
up.
Okay. And how long is it?
It's
how long is it?
It's only 3 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Wow. I don't know how you and Renee do it. I just don't.
Renee's told me that she watched it already. I haven't. I was going to watch it this weekend because I like watching it close to the show so I don't forget stuff because I'm old and I do.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah. How do you pull that off for 10 years? I don't understand how.
Yeah, it is. I'm waiting to, like, Renee watched one episode and she goes, I had to watch one and step away. Like, and Renee is like Renee watches Cold Shit more than I do.
Yeah, she's not one to shy away from things. If that makes
No, and
sense.
she was like, I
Right.
had to fucking step away from it. I'm like, wow. And she said, you
Right.
haven't even started yet. And she goes, it's really long. And I went, it's 3 episodes. And she's like, oh, it felt a lot longer than that.
Right. He's working on a Jade shit. He's working on it.
Sorry.
Yeah, we do some. Y'all, Casey, do you have a history? Does Canada have a history of crazy cults? Because Doug and Renee are, I mean, they're not uncovering, but like exposing, at least to me. Doug, I think you can throw it up there yourself.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm sorry. Stolen Youth on Hulu.
Inside the Cult of Lords.
I'm gonna be watching it and cringing every moment. It's not gonna be
right. So Doug didn't even see it, y'all. So y'all can catch up with Doug and join Doug and Renee on Wednesday.
Please, let's not do a Stolen Youth watch party. Like, guys, don't do it.
No, it's the amount of times I'll probably say "what the fuck" during that show is going to be impressive. The only one, like, watching NXIVM was worse. Not worse because I haven't watched this yet, but NXIVM was like, how does this get worse? And it just continues to keep getting worse and worse, and you're just like, wow.
Right.
So yeah.
And then I think the month after Doug is can we tease it now, or is it fair to tease it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Waco, which is
we're gonna tackle Waco.
Obviously one that everybody knows, but I bet you Doug and Renee are gonna find some shit that we didn't know, because I think a lot of us just take what we get from the media, you know what I mean, Casey, and then just like run with it. But like once you like sit down and watch a whole documentary, like you see like those intricacies and all that. Like all we knew is when we were young, all I knew was like the government's trying to get some crazy people out of the house or something. And then they did what they did to the black people, which is interesting, which is they just bombed the fucking place. Like, but it took longer for them to bomb the white people than it did the black people. Here we go again. Right, and Philly, the move motherfuckers, they were like, and I was like, 13 blocks away from that. They were like, oh, these black people are fucking around. Oh, it was like 2 days, and we're dropping bombs on your motherfucking ass. It was like it wasn't no Waco. How long did Waco go? Waco went months, didn't it? It definitely went weeks.
I think it was longer from the start of it until the end of it. Like, I think it was several years of them doing stuff and started small, like they all do, and they build and build. And when they started getting a compound, they started stockpiling weapons.
Right, and the government's like, no, motherfuckers.
51-day siege. 51 days.
51. Okay, right. It was more like 51 minutes.
They were under siege for 51 days. That shit was going on longer than that, and the government was watching them longer than that. So
right. And move was 51 minutes. They were like, 51 minutes later, like, we got to bomb that shit. Fuck
that. No more. You guys are gone.
Fuck that.
I do have a really interesting tidbit from Waco that I just learned as I was starting to pre-research it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who was outside of the Waco compound selling bumper stickers for the Branch Davidians?
I know this answer. I'll let Casey.
I don't. I want to know now.
Timothy McVeigh, the guy that bombed the Oklahoma City fucking buildings. He was outside the fucking Branch Davidian compound. And that was his impetus for actually figuring out how to go after a government building was Waco.
Damn. Just damn. You know what? We don't have as much crazy up here because it just gets too cold. We're like, I could be outside, but I'll freeze. So I'm not about to do that. We have some, just not as much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just some of that shit is like just fucking. I don't know. I'm always just kind of floored by it, and I should be, because I sometimes forget the capacity of humans to do dumb shit. So yeah, that's fair. I don't know. There's plenty of white dudes that are crazy elsewhere too. There's a guy in 1930s Germany who was pretty crazy, and he was white.
Well played.
Also, Waco is. I don't know. Has Waco lost when people think of Waco, I don't think they think of the Branch Davidians anymore. I think they think of those idiots, Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I do not like them because their design style is terrible. And it's just they do the same thing in every house, and it just drives me bananas. Oh, so yeah.
Check the private chat. And Zach's not here to tell everybody that there's a private chat.
I have two. I have two for that. So
go ahead. Go ahead. No, start it up.
No, Casey. No, but who cares? Go, Casey. You for, and neither is what Doug's. Neither is what Doug's about to say. So go on.
Ouch.
Fair point.
Listen, if you guys know I binge things like crazy, so I kind of just ran out of stuff. Like I'm up to date on The Mandalorian. I'm up to date on Wu-Tang and American Saga.
Oh. Your top-notch, award-winning production here, y'all.
I suck at the prompts. I gotta learn. I gotta learn.
So, Casey, what are you watching?
So to pretend that the last minute or so didn't happen whatsoever. Up to date on The Mandalorian, up to date on Wu-Tang American Saga. I am literally going through Boruto, Naruto Next Generations right now because I have nothing else that I really want to watch at the moment. I'm just like playing in the background while I write and let this definitely B-list, C-list, anime just play in the background. Told you.
And Greg's muted.
Yeah, we're miming and stuff now.
And he's still quiet.
He's still he's not muted, but he's muted. Like Greg.
Yeah, what is up, Greg? You're talking.
Why does your computer hate you?
Hear you? There we go.
Hi.
Hey,
try that again.
Hey.
Doug and I always talk about background music and background shows. Like there are some shows that you can watch, like they're background shows. They're literally shows that you watch for doing shit. And then there's other shows that you could not watch like even 5 minutes of it in the background. You have to like, you know what I mean?
Wire.
So yeah. Like I told Doug there's these two different kind of shows, and Doug knows what I'm talking about because Doug loves that fucking House Hunters. So like that is perfect. You know what I mean? Like you can just like tune in, like because half the time they're fucking just American spoiled ass brat whining about this doesn't have the open room plan, or this doesn't have the I can't cook, Casey, and see everybody in the living room. So
the kitchen is only 300 square feet.
Right. Or that's it. That's House International, Doug, where they go to Europe and they expect like these big like American palaces. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, where's the refrigerator in this place? Bitch, they barely have a refrigerator in Europe. Okay. Be fucking happy you have a goddamn refrigerator and a fucking the laundry. You know, those 2-piece laundry ones where they have the the dryer and the washer, and they're like offended by that, Casey. It's like, man, I just wish like some Americans just could go over to different countries and just get the boot. Like, no, we're not dealing with your fucking ass.
That should be the reality shows. It should be dropping a bunch of Americans in random countries and seeing how they fare. I'd watch the hell out of that. It'd be great.
Right. That's what we do to illegal immigrant. That's what we do to legal immigrant. No, that's what we do to legal immigrants here. Like legal. We take them and then we just drop them off anywhere because we're assholes like that. Anyway, Doug's not an asshole like that.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to I'm trying to load up my one that keeps playing the background music and it's driving me bananas.
Oh, don't we still do that in 2023, Casey? Where you go to a website and then it blasts you with music the second.
Yeah, the autoplay. Right. Well, yeah, because we're still in 1998. Yes, that's why.
It's like, what the hell, Doug? You can throw it out there yourself, of course.
Yep. So I'm going to start with something silly. All right. Love is Blind 4.
Oh my gosh. I watched seasons 2 and I watched seasons 2 and 3, and I'm just kind of like got to a point where I was like, Sarah's watching 4. I'm like, I'm not investing this again.
Wait, I missed one whole year?
Dude, they have 7 episodes out on this already.
On the new year?
On the new year. On the new year. Yep. So yeah. As usual,
Okay.
it is just nonsense. Usually there's usually there's like there's a few people that you would classify as sort of villains, like
Yeah.
not villains, but they're just like, man, they're just jerks or assholes. So all right, Chris, you win. I've never seen that. That's not one I probably would ever want to watch. That chick that's on
It's
this chick
horrible.
that's on the chick that's on the screen right there right now is easily the worst. Arena. She is
Arena?
just terrible. She is
Mhm.
terrible. Terrible. Oh, look at Casey knows.
I
Like,
watched a bit, okay? I watched a little bit. I know some of the people. That's all I'm saying. I didn't watch enough to like be
she's
invested, but enough that I'm like, I see some of these people.
yeah, she is the worst. Like the worst. So yeah, it's dumb and she's that lady there, Micah,
Oh,
is not much
Micah.
better.
Oh, Micah.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so I've seen two. Apparently, I've seen 2 seasons of this, and now there's 4. Doug, I feel sorry for one group of people in that show. There's one group of like people that I feel sorry for, and I would label them, and I think
The
you agree with
viewers?
it too. No, the true believers, the people who believe that A, they're going to find someone, and B, that they actually love someone off of that. Like those are the people that get run over by a bulldozer and then backed over again by another bulldozer and then run over again. And like there's that one guy, I forget what his name was, Doug. I think he was in season 2. And like he just really felt like he fell head over heels for that lady. And then she was like really religious, remember? And she liked that other dude.
Yeah.
Remember, she like it was Shane. She liked Shane, and she was just
Crazy
a
Shane.
mess.
Crazy
Yes.
eyed Shane.
Shane
was
something
right,
else.
right, but she was a mess, and like she just like totally ripped that one dude's like heart out of his heart. She threw it in the river. She jumped in, got the heart
No one
back
should beat Shane.
out, and then she threw that shit into the fucking fire. she took it out, Casey, and stomped on it. Like it was
Listen.
all in the name of Jesus too. I don't know if you all remember that. She was real religious.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
like,
and she also let off. She also let off with I have a lot of Instagram followers, and I'm like, if that's your lead-in line, hard pass. Nope.
I would just watch like Love is Blind. I would watch a Love is Blind villains. Like you give me Shake, all day,
Shake.
every day. I'll watch that man and his crazy and like just I would love to see that all the time.
Shake
was
was
such a horrible person.
I started to believe that Shake was just a plant, actually.
Yeah, right?
Right. But he though encapsulates so many dudes in this country though. He really does. Like he's not, I mean, they had to cast that guy, Doug, because at some point they were going to cast him, whether it was Shake or not, if you know what I mean. Like we have so many of those dudes that are like, oh yeah, I just want, and he just took the whole premise of the show and turned it on its head because, you know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be about looks. Meanwhile, he was sniffing out how you could look. And then when he got a lady, he just ripped her parts about her looks. And she wasn't a bad looking lady by any stretch, by any means. And she just wasn't his fucking type. So then he just uses that as like a battering ram. Like, man, that lady, I don't know. I don't know where she is now, but she's probably had enough boyfriends, hopefully. And I don't know if you need to have enough, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there's enough people that would want to date her because she's just a really nice person on top of a good-looking lady, but she's a really nice person. And Shake did not care. I didn't really mean anything to him. He didn't give a fuck. So on some level, I like that Shake didn't give a fuck, but he's just an asshole. That's the only redeeming quality of him. I love to tell my kids everybody has a redeeming quality. Doesn't mean you need to roll up on them though. So, and if they only have one, that's a big issue, dude. Got it? Okay. So if they only have one redeeming quality, I don't care what it is. I don't care. Run. It's only one. Like you should at least have 3, maybe, right, Casey?
There's a quantifiable amount that we should. I mean, I guess.
I mean, one is a little
the
bit.
minimum amount of green flags is.
I mean, you have one redeeming quality. Like it just reminds me of the guy with the 12-inch personality. He has one redeeming quality, and that's it.
The 12-inch personality.
Run. Okay. Maybe get you a little some and then run, but just run. Like,
Yeah, do it for the story and then get the hell out of there.
Right.
Oh
I mean, it might only take a couple minutes to get what you need to do again and move on with your life. But I mean, come on. But
Take
whatever.
some photos and get out of there.
Whatever. Like again, Doug. We're back to our former POTUS. Does this guy even have one redeeming quality? But even if he did have one, it would just be one. So he proves my point. Anyway, go on. Love is Blind 4.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got, Doug? Oh, you got something else, right?
Yeah, this is the other one I wanted to share because this was fucking amazing. This was the best movie out of the Wick series.
Really?
I didn't think it was could have been better than 3. I thought 3 was just a goddamn masterpiece. This is better. It is. It's filmed in a way that just like there's one particular scene that's filmed, and it actually took my breath away in the theater when I was watching it.
Wow.
Just the way it's filmed. And I'm not going to ruin for you if you haven't seen it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you see it. It sets a new bar for action movies for me. It's this and Mission Impossible movies. Those are the bars. Now, Mission Impossible is different because Tom Cruise is trying to kill himself in every fucking movie. But this, just the way it's filmed, the way it's done, the way it even like brings you into more parts of the high table, which is always kind of this esoteric thing. And Bill Skarsgård's in it. Bill Skarsgård is great as a villain. And for your nerds, Tonks is in it from Harry Potter. So yeah, that was something that I liked because I like her in a lot of things. She was also in Game of Thrones, but this to me is the best of the Wick series, and that's high praise for me because I love those movies.
Okay, a couple questions.
Yeah.
Number one, is it one of your favorite movies of this year so far?
Yes.
And
I've not seen a lot of movies that have been released this year, though, to be fair. So,
and I find it interesting that it's the 4th installment, and you're telling me it's the 4th best. That usually almost
by that time, right?
Never happens, Casey. Ever. Usually, the first one is either the first one,
and then it just goes,
right, or it might be the second one. Because my boys and I are going to watch Superman 2 tomorrow. I don't know if y'all remember that. Superman 1 is a pretty good movie, y'all. It's solid. Superman 2 is pretty good too. Now after that it goes but Superman 2 is when they had those 3 badasses. Remember that? And so
Neil to Zod.
Right. But yeah, it's Doug, that is rare in my opinion, that the 4th installment of a four story arc is the best. That's crazy. And good. Khan. Yep.
Yeah, Khan was
wrong series. Right? It's also a sequel.
Trek. Yeah. Khan or no, Khan is
that's Star Trek.
No, yeah. What is their name so on that? But that I remember when I was young.
Zod's the leader, and from they end up in, or they're from the negative zone,
and they were in that.
The negative zone.
They're in the negative zone, and that's how come they didn't get obliterated, and so they were around. Yeah, right. And then they have to be
come on to the negative zone.
I remember those motherfuckers scared me when I was young. I remember that shit.
That's fair.
I was like, these people are badass. Superman's gonna have to like, oof. But it's different, like showing my kids Superman now. After like they've been through all the Batmans and the Spider-Man's No Way Home and the Dimensions, and they just see Superman and they just roll their eyes, and I'm like, bitches, look, okay, this is all we had back in the day, okay? This is old shit, and you should respect it, motherfuckers.
we got this, and we liked it.
Casey, they're 19 and 17, so that's almost close to the whole dictation. Like, bitches, come on now, like, give it a little bit. So then even after Superman, they were like, yeah. But Casey, I don't know. We talked about this a little bit. I don't think you're around. But my kids hated Batman 1966, which is the
back to
yeah, which is the campy Batman. Like, but my kids grew up with like serious Dark Knight. Batman is a big evil. Yes, where we grew up with Batman's a joke. And that shit's kind of funny, and it was campy. And then we got like introduced to Dark Batman, and then we're like, oh damn! Like it was almost a progression. Whereas our kids just got dropped into Dark Batman. In fact, you know, the Batman. I don't know if y'all saw that, but my kids love that shit, and they love it because it was so dark. And like
we were worried that like Michael Keaton's Batman was too dark.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
It got to the 90s, and we're like, oh, this is a lot.
Right.
Like by the time we got to Batman Returns, we're like, ooh, this is dark. And then we came out with the Dark Knight later on. We're like, you know what?
No, it was Batman the Beginning or Batman Beginnings. Was the first one? The first one, the Dark Knight was the second one in that trilogy.
Yeah, the first one was
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
Yep. That one was just confusing because the cinematography on that was like we can't tell which punch is going where. It was like we're very confused by this film. And then the second one comes out, and I'm like, I'll watch this 17 times over.
Right.
That's the best superhero movie ever. Sorry. Dark Knight.
You don't got to be sorry about it.
That's a fair premise.
Well,
I'm not going to argue that point.
Also, I think that when the Dark Knight or Batman Begins was like, that was Christopher Nolan's first venture into that. And Nolan just films like shit way different than everybody else. So I can see why that was confusing at the beginning.
Yep. So it was nice. What's up,
Greg, what are you watching? Did we talk about that? Did I miss it?
Well, I shared it. We're going to do Superman 2 tomorrow. So that's how we got into all the Superman thing. And then last week we didn't do a cinema, and we're actually on deck for us is Wakanda Forever. We haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen it.
We're going to try to see it during Women's History Month. Didn't work out. We're trying to see it for Black History Month, Casey. Didn't work out. So we're going to see it for, I don't know what April is. What is April?
Just cause.
I think April is, I really think it's, seriously. I think it's like Testicular Cancer Month, but that's another.
No, I think it was API, like Asian Pacific Islander. Like where maybe
was that April? Could be April.
Okay. I have no idea, but we're gonna see Wakanda Forever. That's what I'm trying to watch. And then apparently I have to catch up on Love Is Blind. I still have to catch up on The Circle. I still have to finish Poker Face. I just started the stupid challenge, the World Challenge. So yeah, don't ask me. And I haven't been binging, Doug. I've been really good. So a binge is coming.
Scottish American Heritage Month.
So we can drink whiskey, right?
I don't need a month for that. I drink that anytime.
All right, Doug. Well, I think we should wrap up here soon. What do you think?
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Is there any basketball games tonight, or when is that? That's tomorrow night, right?
That's tomorrow is a final. Although the women's Final Four was on tonight, and I was watching the LSU. Who are they playing? Virginia Tech game, and that was excellent. And then unfortunately, I got to jump on here and talk to you guys, but I have no idea how that game ended. So that was excellent. Like people sleep on the women's basketball game, but man, it's fucking competitive as shit.
Yeah, it is. And women's sports have been picked up. And, there used to be some criticism on women's sports for many reasons. I think first of all, it's because it's women. But second of all, we've never really poured resources into it like we do with the men. We just don't. And so don't expect the same kind of quality product and all that if we don't give the same attention, y'all. Mm-hmm. So how about that?
I need to speak to Alex's comment. Alex, I don't know how you forgot the name of the show. It's How to Build a Sex Room. It's right. It's all there in what you said. I'm just saying.
Is it really?
That's the name of the show. It's an older white woman. I think she's British, and she goes around and consults with different American families or couples or whatever, and or not even couples. Sometimes it's thruples and polyamorous grouping, and teaches them kind of goes into who they are and what they like doing. And
wait, it sounds like you know about this.
He watches.
I've watched it. Come on. I'm speaking authoritatively on it right now, my friends. Okay. So yes. So it's interesting. You learn a lot about people's needs and communication styles and things like that. It is definitely not. I don't know. I wouldn't call the show people read the title "How to Build a Sex Room." You think it's going to be like a turn on, but it's not really. It's more almost like an exploration of human condition. But it's good. It's all right. It's good.
They don't talk about wood.
Yes, that is the material that all these rooms are built out of at all times. Yes, of course.
I'm just asking. Y'all can get all like y'all can look all into
we need
it.
we need to get a lube dispenser in the wall, and
Y'all can look into it with your dirty minds. I was asking a simple
like a hand
question.
sanitizer dispenser on the wall, but a lube dispenser. Like, all right, great.
I was asking a simple question, and y'all have gutter minds have to really.
Please, and you act like
there's
you don't
no
have
sex in the champagne room, y'all. Okay, okay, got it. Right. All right. All right. Well, motherfuckers, we're gonna get out of here. How about that?
Yeah, poor Zach's gonna be like, "What do you mean?"
Fuck Zach. Yeah, I said it. It's easier to say when he's not here, right?
He would have been commenting 80 times by the time.
Right. Well, we don't have to show his comments. That's another thing, Doug. I don't know why we do. We just do.
Well,
so
a lot of times they're funny. Sometimes they're a little bit too outre for us. So yeah.
Casey, it's been really nice talking to you.
Yeah, man.
Hey, always pleasure.
I love your random pop-ins, man. They're great. They happen at
There'll be more.
They happen at the perfect time. Right. Just play this twice for Zach, and then it'll get to
you just loop it for a second time.
Right, but it won't get to Casey, I need to make sure that you saw this though, buddy.
Donald Trump for paying off a porn star to influence a presidential election. They might go after other people who paid off a porn star to influence a presidential election.
You take down the symbol, and the people are supposed to melt away. Trump's not going to quit.
He's not going to quit.
No.
But are you worried for the rights of other people that might have paid off porn stars?
Absolutely. So they shot their wad too soon.
What does that expression mean?
Huh?
What does that expression mean?
By July 4th?
No, shot their wad too soon. What does that
By
mean?
July 4th, this will be forgotten.
So they should have waited to shoot their wad till later?
August, September.
So if they shot their wad in August or September, you think that could have potentially hurt Trump? But they splooged too early.
Yeah.
And on that note,
thank you. You've enriched my night. Thank you.
this is what we're dealing with down here, bro. This is where we're at.
One
Yes,
thing
sir.
before we go.
Yes.
Zach posted something on Twitter about, I can't believe you weren't at this, Doug. And it was like this party for at South by Southwest, and the Taste of Biscuit people were there. And the woman liked the tweet. The woman who sings from the Taste of Biscuit liked the tweet that Zach posted.
Doug, we should try to get her on the 40 for 40 race.
We should just have her on the show, like both of them.
Yeah, but they can perform for the 40 for 40.
Yeah. All right. Great thinking.
Let's do this. Y'all, remember the 40 for 40 race where old asses like us ran for charity? We're doing it again. We had a meeting this week about it, so it's going to happen again. And that's why we want to have musical acts. So I want the lady from Utah, but those guys nixed it. But look, man, she got the. I'm not going to play it for you because y'all already know she got the moves. So I don't care what y'all say. Now the rapping part, she don't really got, Casey. We got to work on that. But she's halfway there. She's got the moves, and maybe she could dance to the fucking Honey Biscuit lady. Doug, I'm telling you,
that would be the best.
It would bust this fucking stream. The stream would explode, and we would be done. That would be our last broadcast ever, and it would be the best ever. It would be the best way to go out. Is the lady who ran from Utah Senate? She would be dancing to the biscuit sauce, lady, and it would just be. I'm telling you, it would bring down the house. We would make millions. Roberta would love us. It would just be great. So yes, the ultimate mashup. Daniel Fisher already knows, dog. So we're gonna leave y'all so we can get this going because we're gonna give this a good try. Fuck it, Doug's seriously he's serious about contacting the Honey Biscuit lady. I'm a half serious about contacting the lady in Utah.
Why not?
You never know, right? And she was down, man. She did a whole video. She's cool. I don't care what y'all say about her. She's my lady. She didn't win. but she at least gave it a good effort, and she's got moves, Doug. She's got, for a white lady, Doug, she got more moves than you, man. And I know you dance too, so. But you don't want to show those. Doug, maybe we can get you to dance during the 40 for 40.
All right, for that I might do it. And
Yes!
the thing is, I haven't done that in a decade and a half. I might.
Casey, you know Doug was a dancer. He was.
You mentioned this.
He was like, he was Travolta on the dance floor, yo. Right, Doug? Was it that good?
Doug has the expression I have on this show, like 90.
Doug,
What really?
Oh,
Zach?
damn it!
Doug
We almost
hate-
made it. We almost made it.
Doug hates Grease and everything about it, so that's why I was. That's why I said that, and that's probably why I got the
Fucking
response
dumb
that I got.
movie and that fucking terrible soundtrack. I think Greg just say that.
Yes, I did. And clip it, Zach, and then put it in a gift and replay it, and then troll me online about it. Look, I just gave him. Look, man, she's got the moves, Zach. I don't care what you said. She can dance better than your ass, Zach. I never saw your ass dance, Zach. And I never saw your ass run for Senate in Utah, Zach. So she's got 2 on you, buddy. Now what? Anyway.
I know we were like, oh, we're gonna have to replay this for Zach. It's not long enough. And then fucking
Right.
like Beetlejuice, and here he fucking shows up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Go Zach.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
And on that note, we're going to see y'all next week. We want to thank Casey for joining us.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Our guests, for the record, for y'all showing up late like Zach, our guest had a travel snafu, so she couldn't join us tonight. And it was funny because Doug had a travel snafu the last time we were supposed to have, when Wendi was ready to go, Doug had a travel snafu. When Doug was ready to go, Wendi had a travel snafu. So when the next time we book Wendi and get ready to go, I'm going to have the travel snafu. So then we're going to cover all the bases, and then we're still going to invite Casey, and then she's going to be here. So it's great. Damn, Zach, you still working? All right. Don't tell anybody. You should be working instead of watching us, Zach. Isn't that, you know? Thanks for showing up, Casey. Yeah. She sent me a note before, and Doug's like, yo, you see that note from JSG? And I'm like, yeah, but we don't need a guest. We'll just get out of here.
I let it come over the chat like, yo, where the stream yard?
Right.
And I said, what if we have the Canadian trademark jump on?
Right. And I know JSG didn't say this or think this, but for y'all who are thinking this, yes, the black person got priority here. Yes, the white person got screwed here. It's fine, but it never. I said,
do not drag me into.
No, that was me. But no, JSG, we love you, man. I was just gonna have a short night, and we did have a shorter night because we're not gonna have. Wait, what? Oh, I just saw another thing. Saw Casey had to show up. Then I saw my name in the chat. Oh, your ears should have been ringing. We were talking trash about you. So rewind a little bit. There was a little bit of trash talked about you, but it's fine, Zach. You will talk enough. You've talked enough trash on all of us combined. So, oh yeah, there's some new records out that we could talk about in the private. In the private chat.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the private chat. You know, that thing Zach doesn't know about.
Right. Or anybody else, because Zach never told anybody else that it exists. You know what I mean? So nobody knows about it. But what I do know about is that we're getting out of here. Casey, thank you for, again, your friendship, your friendship and your love and your Canadianness.
Hey, always love being here with you guys when I can.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week. We'll have some cheese and we'll have some beer, and we're gonna get real cheesy on y'all next week, right? Isn't that? Casey, have they told you about that? Right.
I can't. Nope. I don't know. No, I know nothing about this at all.
And on that note.